Oh my gosh, you guys missed that. My mirror just almost fell on me. I had to catch it. Get ready with me while I introduce myself. But first, I'm gonna do my hair. Okay, now that that's all done, we can just start in with the skin prep. I did cleanse my skin off camera. A little bit about me. I am 17 years old. I'm trying to think of what to say without like doxing myself. I have 2 siblings. My lovely older brother is married to his beautiful wife. Her name is Sydney, and she actually is a YouTuber, and she has TikTok, she does all that. So if I remember, I'm actually gonna put her link here if I can remember to do that. If not, that's just embarrassing, because she's obviously a lot more experienced than me, and I love her. So follow her. This is shameless plug. Today I'm actually getting ready for my last day of school ever, like in high school. I'm graduating this year, so that's exciting, and I'm excited to move on to the next part of my life. But this is perfect, by the way, guys. This is like magic. Obviously nothing sponsored, this is my first video, but yeah. Speaking of that, let's just talk about why I'm here, what I'm doing here, who really asked for this, because nobody asked for this. No, I'm kidding. I did have a couple people, like the last couple years, I've gotten really into makeup, and I didn't used to be super into it. I've always liked doing it, but I never like had a lot of it, or like was as obsessed as I am now. And I've had people just like ask me, be like, hey, I like your makeup, what'd you do? Little things like that. And I'm always just like rattling off like, here, oh, what's your lip products? And I'm like wearing 16 different products, because that's just who I am. I layer things. And they're like, girl, that's a lot. And so I'm like, yeah, I know. And I've had a couple people ask me to make a YouTube channel, which I've always been super nervous to, just because like, you know how it is, like people judge people. And sunscreen cleared my skin, by the way. I don't know, I just like felt like that was silly, but since people have been asking, I was like, you know what, it might be silly, but I'm just gonna make it, and I'm not gonna tell people, but if they find it, they find it. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing here, is I'm pretty much just talking to people I care about. This is just fun. Showing them what I do for my makeup and just yapping. I've always been a yapper, so yeah. Okay, also, I have a bone to pick with all the influencers, because I always see them, and I always see them using it. They stack it up to here, and they're like, get ready with me, and the sunscreen stacks up to here. This is more than I normally use. I'm just saying, the first time I opened this and I got that much, my face was drenched. It was like running into my eyes, my mouth, my nose. So you really don't need, like, this is a lot for me. And I wear a lot of sunscreen anyway. Like, this is my second layer, just because I didn't used to, and I had bad acne. I'm gonna put a couple pictures here and here for you to see. It wasn't like crazy, but it was pretty bad. Like, I went to the dermatologist, and like I had prescriptions, and if you've ever done that, you know that that doesn't always work out. Tretinoin. It wasn't bad enough that I had Accutane, and so it didn't really help me that much. But what it did do is it got me a sample of this sunscreen. They gave me a sample of it because they
do that there.
And I started using it, and I noticed my acne started going away. So I looked it up, and this is a mineral sunscreen, and so it uses zinc oxide instead of the like carcinogenic chemicals. It uses zinc oxide, which is a mineral, and it actually has
antimicrobial properties,
which can clear like acne that's like fungal acne, which sounds disgusting, but it's, I mean, I'm gonna be real, I sleep with my makeup sometimes. So it's my fault. But today I'm gonna use this one, my lovely boyfriend bought this for me at Valentine's Day because he knows how obsessed I am with makeup, and I mentioned it a few times in the store. So, I also don't know how to edit. So if any of you guys have any sort of like advice on that, go ahead and give me that, because should I also start making shorts? I feel like if I make like YouTube shorts, that like sounds cringy, but I know a lot of people like them, especially younger people who, I don't know, like might need more makeup advice because they've never done it before. And I'm willing to do that. Like I could always just do like a lip routine or like just the skin. So if anybody sees this and wants that, let me know down below. Like and subscribe, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. No, I'm kidding, that's not what I'm here for, but whatever works. Okay. Today's my last day of school, which means I'm graduating. So let me just quickly wet my beauty blender, and then I'll be back to talk about my plans. So yeah. Okay guys, beauty blender is wet and I am back. Sorry, this is not a very stable stool. Yeah. Anyway, and I'm back, and this is the scariest part of the video for me because I am going to talk about my life plans, which best foundation ever. House Labs sponsor me. Anyway, that's all it takes. Okay, this is the scariest part of the video for me because I'm not 100% certain about my plans. What I do know is that I need makeup to be a part of my work for the rest of my life. Like that's all I want to do. All I know is I want to do makeup. And so that's complicated because there aren't actually like a lot of schools that just teach makeup. And so I have to decide now whether I want to be an esthetician and I can do makeup then, but that would have me pursue doing like aesthetics, which is like I could do lashes, maybe I could do waxing, I could do facials, I could do just stuff like that. Whereas if I go for cosmetology to do makeup, I could cut hair, highlight hair. And right now I actually work as a receptionist in a salon that has both. They do facial and waxing, but then they also have the hair salon. And so pretty much like I've just been watching, they don't really know I've been watching them, like that might be creepy, but I've pretty much just been watching and trying to figure out what it looks like I want to do the most, like what seems like the most me and just like what's God's plan for my life. I'm really young for my grade, so I skipped 2nd grade. I was a smart kid. I grew out of that. I'm only 17 and I'm graduating, and I'll still be 17 when fall comes around. And so I think that it's just like so pushed on us that we have to like know what we're doing. Like people were asking me last year, you have to know what you're doing by like junior year for the rest of your life. And I'm like, if you know what you're doing, I'm so happy for you. That's great. That's great. But I didn't know what I was doing. And sometimes I still don't. Like I know what I want to do, but it's hard to actually push yourself down that path. And so I plan on taking off a semester to just kind of figure out where I want to go to school, make sure I make all of the right decisions before it's too late, because once you've started doing something, it's pretty hard to quit. And that way I'll have some money saved up and I can just genuinely, I don't know, I'm still blending this, do whatever I feel is right at that point. So yeah, LYS bronzer, holy grail. Probably, okay, if I was doing this on someone else, I would tell you guys, put it on the back of your hand and then apply it, but I'm not doing that. So I also would use a brush if I was really trying. I'm not like in a crazy hurry, but like I do have school in an hour, so it's not my perfect makeup routine. You guys should like follow band for band. Just this is just a general idea of where I place things, what products I use, but like this is not my perfect ideal makeup look. I always make sure to blend more at the top and use this little like a lighter tip of it down here, because that gives a more diffused look, I feel, because I want this part to be the strongest part. And so the part that I push the hardest and like blend in the most is the part that's here or like here, because I don't want that to be quite as dark as like here. And I have a pretty large forehead, so I always bronzer contour that just to kind of keep my forehead tame. So yeah, okay, yeah. But seriously, what are some fun facts about me? Because I'm supposed to be introducing myself, and so far I've just been yapping. Let's see. I am graduating next week, graduating high school. I skipped a grade. I've literally told you all this so far. In elementary, I've lived in 10 different houses. My family moves a lot, and no, we're not military. We live in an area that has a lot of military families, and so I get asked that every time I talk about moving, and no, my parents just like to not keep us in the same place. So there's that. I'm gonna go in with a blush, and guys, this is literally the hardest part of my makeup routine because I have some different blushes, and no matter what I use, it just switches up the whole look, the whole vibe, and I love all of them, but I can't choose them all. So I'm gonna go with the NARS blush, and this is in shade Dolce Vita. I don't know if they sell this anymore because I couldn't find it at Sephora last time I looked, but yeah. But I love it. Okay, it's like, for me, it's like non-negotiable. I never start blending my blush with a beauty blender because I don't like how it stains the beauty blender, and I don't like how it applies when I do that. So I always use this cheap little brush that I've had since I was like 13 because it's just, for some reason, this brush is just perfect for me. And I know it's not the one you're supposed to be using, but it works for me. And I think that's really what's important, is finding things that work for you and sticking with that, because like, I notice when my makeup, like when people compliment me the most, when I feel the best, when it looks the best, is when I'm doing the things that I've done over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Because that's just like, if you know how to do what you're doing and you know it well, then like, it's foolproof. Oh my gosh, I got a hair in my eye. Okay, then like, it's a little bit more foolproof than if you're like trying 16 different hacks, and like yeah, I love experimenting with makeup. Like, I'll buy new makeup all the time, and I love to like try new ways to put it on and stuff, but usually when I try new makeup, I do like one new thing at a time, because if something goes wrong, then you can pinpoint that it was that product that made it go wrong. If something goes right, you know that like you like that product because of what it did. So definitely one of my biggest tips is, don't try 12 new products at a time. Don't do a full face of new products that you've never even tried. Also, I know the blush is crazy. I like to put on a crazy amount of blush to start with. It'll work out. Trust the process. It'll work out in the end. So yeah, and I put some on my forehead sometimes with what's left on the brush, just so I don't look like, I usually just do that in the summer so that it doesn't look super like, I don't know, I like a more natural look toward the summer. So yeah, I'm gonna blend it in here with my bronzer. Oh my gosh, why am I having hairs all over my face? Probably the cheap little brush, but it might just be my hair the last couple days. It's been crazy, so it might just be that. Okay, and then I always do concealer after blush. Okay, today I'm going to be blushing my under eyes before I even conceal, because I like to sometimes, this Giorgio Armani Luminous, it is, whatever, it's actually like not a great shade on me, because sometimes in the winter it's fine because it's like a little bit of a cold girl look, but I'm not quite pale enough to pull this off sometimes, which is crazy because I mean, I'm pretty pale. But yeah, and so I like using it under my eyes because it just kind of brightens everything. Another thing that I like to do that I'm not doing today, but I'll show you guys sometime. Where even is it? Okay, that's embarrassing. Okay, is I have like a tinted eye primer, and it's kind of this like peachy, see that? It's like a peachy color, but it's still like kind of skin tone. I don't know why I'm wasting that. And so I'd like to just, put that under my eyes to correct the like dark circles, and it actually works really, really well. So if you want to see that, guys, drop a comment saying, just say,
bleepy bloop blop, and I will drop the video. Yeah.
Okay, and then one concealer that I think is so underrated. I feel like I never see anything about it, but I've had it for so long and it's lasting me so long, honestly. Like, this is something I have already purchased. I love this concealer. It's the NYX Bear With Me concealer serum. They have the funniest social media every time. See what I mean? Like that's calmed down a little bit. So another crazy makeup misconception is that you have to spend a psycho amount of money to have like a good base. Like, that's pretty flawless, and I did use a couple higher end products, but like before I could afford to, when I was like younger and stuff, and when I was first starting out, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money on makeup, like all you need is some like good classics, and like you just have to do your research ahead of time, I think, and it makes all the difference. Because like some of my products that I use, they're not crazy expensive, like they're drugstore products. Like, there's a hair that's disgusting. Okay, that's a drugstore. Like, some of these, like this is a $30 highlighter. Like, that's a little bit expensive for that amount of product, but that's just because I love it. It's because I'm like obsessed to a different level. If you're not like sure yet how obsessed you are with makeup and stuff, and like how much you really like love it, you know what I mean? If it's like for you or not, then I would definitely just do lots of research on the products that you do buy, and you won't need to buy as many products or as expensive products. You know what I mean? Because like, and like honestly, I could do a whole routine that's like products that I got either discounted or products that are not as pricey, and I could do that. So if you want that video, drop a comment, say budget. No. This is such a good bronzer, but it is so strong. I literally always like, I wipe it off, I like blow it off, I do so much to try to like make sure there's not any like fallout, because like, look how gorgeous that is. But if I didn't wipe it off, that would have been crazy. Today, I'm doing my just like basic bronzer placement because I am getting ready for school, and it does need to be quick. My part never matches my face, so sometimes I just kind of, this might not be a good tip to follow. I don't know how bad that is for you, but yeah. Usually my face matches my neck a little better than this, I promise. It'll be good by the end. Oh yeah, another tip I have is if you want your makeup to sit right, I don't even do setting spray mostly to like try to make it hold long. I just like it to sit right. And so if you want it to sit right and not be like cakey and powdery, I use it between like a lot of the steps. And like I have nicer setting sprays, like I have an Urban Decay one, and I have like an Anastasia one and stuff like that. But when I want it to just like that it settles in the right way, I just use this because you can buy it in a huge bottle, and I love NYX, and it's the cheapest per fluid ounce that I could find at Ulta. And I've gone through a couple bottles now, and I really do love it. So yeah, so now I'm gonna go in with my Physicians Formula Better Believe It blush, yeah, and Pink Sands. And honestly, I need to get a new powder blush. This works fine, it's just not my like absolute favorite. So if you have any powder blush recommendations, honestly, you can give me advice. Drop it in the comments. I've said that like 16 times. I need to do like a count. Yeah, anyway, that's just to set my other blush in place because I'm already wearing plenty of blush, and this isn't like a crazy blush heavy look, so I'm not like, this is just to set my other blush in place. And sometimes that's what I do. I use this brush when I'm just in this MAC 498 SES brush when I'm just trying to set it in place, because it doesn't pick up as much product as I sometimes just use the same blush rating brush I use for liquid blush. Okay, pretty much less product, more product. Bam. Okay. Also, something that people need to start talking about is what a big difference setting powder makes, because if you use a cheap setting powder, no hate, but like that's one of the things that like does make a big difference, and it will separate your makeup will lay cakey. And it's not even just if it's cheap, if it's just not the right one with your foundation and concealer, because that makes such a big difference. Remember that like makeup does involve chemistry, like people need to start remembering that. And it doesn't make it a bad product if it separates, it just means you're using it wrong in your makeup routine. And that's a hill I will die on, because if I use something water-based with something oil-based, it's not going to set the same way as if they're both oil-based. You know what I mean? And that's just, I'm not a crazy student, but like that's just common sense. So and then I just use what's left in there, and I just grab my forehead, because do what works for you when it comes to makeup. I think that's something people need to figure out in life in general, is that we don't all have the same path. God has given us unique lives, unique personalities, different plans for our lives, like different places we need to be at different phases of our life. And that's just something that I think a lot of times we miss and we leave behind, that idea, because it's not ideal to us to have to figure out things on our own. It's easier to just be like, okay, everybody just starts the same school, goes to the same place from preschool to graduation, and then they graduate, and then they go to college, and they're like nearby college that's safe, and it's easy to stay in your little bubble. But I think that like some people, that's a great plan. Like some people to each their own, like they're made to live in their hometown, be friends with the same people, know the same families. Like some people are made for that, and that is amazing. I'm not hating on that at all, but some people are like, we have a plan set in place, like we are supposed to have to move a lot, go through like that kind of difficulty, and like we're to expose ourselves to other culture and other people. And I think it's just important to know like what your path is not going to be the exact same as your best friend's path or your neighbor's path or that person in school who you want to be like. It's not going to be the same, and that's okay. We are all made with our own personalities, and we all have just our own futures. And nobody asked me for life advice, so I'm gonna stop talking now. But yeah, and then for eyes, I obviously always do something different. And I probably should. I don't really do my eyebrows that much because I have pretty thick eyebrows and they lay in place fairly well. So sometimes I use this, the e.l.f. What's the actual name for it? Clear Brow and Lash Mascara. I never use the clear mascara part. I use it in my brows because it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Hate to spoil that for you. And then sometimes when I feel like I want to do a little bit more just for fun, I use e.l.f.'s brow laminating gel, and it's the one that's like in this packaging, not the one. I had the one in the pot one time because so many people recommended it because it works so well for them, and I'm so glad that it worked for them. But for me, I am kind of a messy makeup girl sometimes, and so I left it open one day and it dried out. So I can't be doing that. I need my products that don't really dry out too much. Yeah, it also kind of just flaked in my brows, and it just wasn't my favorite thing. Don't follow this advice. We do our brows and eyes first and then everything else. I just am scatterbrained because I'm a little bit nervous. I've got a lot going on today. Shout out to Cindy for buying me this for Christmas 2 years ago. It has lasted me for so long, and I'm kind of excited for when I finish it finally. You can just pop out the pan and like replace it, and that's so cool. And this mirror has stayed really clean. And shout out to Sid and Glossier. Go follow Cindy on, look at that setup. Ooh. Yeah, I'm recording on my front camera. Yeah, go follow Cindy. Go buy Glossier products. Actually, I don't care. Do what you want to do. I've been so blessed, like, to have such incredible influences and stuff too. Like, I feel like the people in my life, like, it's just been so well ordained that like I know I'm going down the right path for me. Like, God's giving me what I need to do and all that. Like, even if you don't believe in God, like, first of all, you should. Personally, I think that, but like, whatever. Like, I've just been given so many signs that like what I'm doing is what I need to be doing, because like I love makeup. Everything started to fall into place. Now I work in a salon, and like my sister-in-law is an influencer and gets me things. And then I started dating my fabulous boyfriend. Shout out Alex. I'm so in love. Anyway, and like literally his cousin works in Mac, and so that's perfect too. Like, that's another sign. I'm like, well, this is great. Like, this all works out, and everything's going great. So shout out Sydney, shout out Alex, shout out Jordan, and Angel. I love you, Angel. Wait, why am I just shouting out random people now? Add a little bit of glitter. Okay, yeah, that didn't ruin anything. It's fine. Okay. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I've been sitting here for 26 minutes. I'll edit that out for you guys. Hopefully, we'll see. This is crazy. For my inner corners and like wherever I want stronger highlighter, I always use this Revolution highlighter Reload Set the Tone. It's bright white and it's so strong. Look. Isn't that so pretty? It's very, very strong, and I'm gonna blend that out, I promise. But the lid is literally broken off of it, so I can't take it anywhere. It's a home makeup type of thing, but it wasn't expensive and it's nice and I like it. Shout out Esther for the recommendation. I'm just gonna blend it out with my hand a little bit because it's coming on pretty strong today. I like a bright white inner corner. Yes. So I know I should be introducing myself more today because that's what I said I was doing, but I really just can't think of anything to say now that I'm like recording, other than what I've yapped about for the last 27 minutes. So if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments. So yeah, if you have any questions for me like that, if you have any like things that like makeup products you've tried that you want me to know about, like you want me to try for you, anything that like you think I would already have that you want me to give a review on, like any specific thing that you need help with, any life topics that you want to know about my opinion on, because nobody asks my opinion, but I always have one. So look how beautiful. Okay, I look kind of bruised in this lighting, but I promise, like, I don't know, that's a lot better, but like I promise in real life I don't look bruised, and I'll show you in natural lighting later or something. Okay, let me know if you guys mind on the go makeup routine, because I am kind of a procrastinating person and I do my makeup on the go a lot. Speaking of which, I don't have my mascara because it's in my purse and I'm not gonna have to get it, so I'm just gonna use another one. Tubing mascara is not my favorite, but I'm gonna go with that because I don't know, I just feel like it. Literally, okay, I usually do my makeup standing up, which I know is weird. Like, I've been told by all my friends that is strange, and they all sit and do theirs, but I usually stand because I don't know, I just like it and do what works for you. One thing I notice when I stand is when I do my mascara, I tend to boom and I lean, and so I have a whole handprint on my wall from like, because my hand is covered in like foundation and stuff right now, like blush, everything, if you couldn't tell. And so I have a whole handprint on my wall from me like standing and leaning. Okay, this is taking too long. I'm just gonna. Okay, and the mascara is on. Now it's time to pick a product. Okay, that's the final choices. Don't hate me. I always overline the bottom just a little. Not a lot. Like, see, that's where my natural line is. I just go there. Don't overline a lot. And I never overline the corners, because that looks stupid. Don't be out here looking like a fool with your huge overlined lips. That's all you need. Sometimes I'll fill in the corners if I feel like it, because why not? I don't know. Okay, and I always see people overlining here and cutting out their cupid bow. Don't do it. Do not cut out your cupid's bow, girl. You will regret it, because that's just a trend, and I think cupid's bows are literally my favorite part of my lips. And so if anything, I underline this deep part and overline the top because I want to keep that shape. So you can do what you want, what works best on your lip type, because everyone is different. But I will always pick the cupid's bow. Always. I just think it's so cute and so like classic. Okay. And if you're wearing a gloss over it, the inside part of your lip liner doesn't have to be perfect. Like, that's not completely even. But like, also don't blend it too much. All you gotta do is what I just did though. That's it. and especially if you're wearing a gloss over it, because that'll blend it more. And today I'm going to go in with the CoverGirl Yummy Gloss. I heard they came out with the plumping ones, and I kind of want to try that because I think that's interesting, because this is such like a thick moisturizing formula that I think it would be really interesting to try plumping one. And this is shade 300, Acai You Later. Okay. Mwah. Okay, that's the final look. Hopefully I didn't leave too much out. I love you guys. Mwah. Actually, I don't know you yet, but I'm sure I will love you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys missed that. My mirror just almost fell on me. I had to catch it. Okay, these clips are gonna be out of order now, but maybe I'll throw that in the beginning for some clickbait. My mirror fell. Get wet. Let's see. So, yeah.